This is crazy. I didn't even realize I was already going. I guess setting up this camera. It went live on its own. I wasn't even ready. But it's all good. Cause I'm ready now. So I'm gonna get started. First and foremost, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to y'all by Shem Yahushua. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles of the great millstone, rule well, and I also like to give honor to the Akim that's out pushing his truth and sincerity to the four corners. I want to say Shalom. Okay. Okay, this is the second segment of Prophecy at Hand right now. And this is, like I said, it's the second segment. And right now, I want to talk about the prophecies of the Northern Kingdom coming to America and them running directly into the curses. All right, we'll get started with that. Now, we already know how the Southern Kingdom left Jerusalem, you know, because they fell to the Romans in 70 AD. You know, this is the tribes of Benjamin and Judah, technically, because Levi was dissolved amongst Israel for their anger. So the other 10 tribes was the Northern Kingdom. We have not discussed what happened to them. We only discussed what happened to the Jews. So let's talk about what happened to them. And the prophecy on our Northern Kingdom brothers, you know, because we got a lot of people out here that think that the Hispanics and the Native Indians ain't our people. And I'm not trying to say all of them are. They're just like all black people ain't our people. So it is what it is. Now listen to this. This is 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. And it says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Oshea the king, when the Salmanaser the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. So what they wanted to do was, instead of them going where the king delivered them to, which was amongst the other heathen, they didn't want to be around amongst them, you know, because they never kept their laws, statutes, commandments amongst the heathen. So they knew it wasn't going to work now. So they say they're going to go where no man has never dwelt. We ain't got to deal with all that. So let's get down to what happened after that. And then it says that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And so they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. So they crossed into the Euphrates on the shallow end of the river where you could walk in. And when they did walk in, you know, in the shallow end of the river, when they got to the deep part, the Most High showed signs to them, let them know that, you know, I'm with y'all. He held back the water so they could pass through. You know, and we all know how big the Euphrates is. And so, and then it said he held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go. So the country that they had to go to was a great way to go. Namely of a year and a half. And that same region is called Ashereth. And then they dwelt there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come, the Most High shall stay the springs of the stream again. Then they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders. So they went to and they settled in this place called Ashereth. Now ancient Ashereth on the map, I've showed people plenty of times. I got the ancient map of Ashereth, you know, and I can't put it up right now, but the ancient map of Ashereth is what they call right now in modern day today, it's called South America. Landmass don't change. It's the same landmass, same shape, with the same oceans and shit around it. And that's what we call today Latin America. And that's where Mexico is partly connected to that too. So this is where the Hispanics and the Native Indians, this is how they got to America. And they got there, there was no man that ever dwelt there. As the scripture told you, they would go to a place where no man ever dwelt, and it was South America. And they and as time went on, they stayed over there, and they came further over, and this is how they ended up in America. And this is why Mexico, if you look at it, America and Mexico is next to each other, directly next to each other. In fact, America has even stolen some Mexican states from them. You know, that's how close they were. And because they were so close together, that this is why it's hard to tell the Hispanics from the Native Indians, because they were all there. There wasn't no line separating them at that time. The line was drawn when Christopher Columbus brought his devil ass over here and started slaughtering our people. So that's how they got to America. They didn't come through Africa the way we did. You know, I in the first segment of this, I talked about how we came through, how we came through Africa. And it's always been a hatred between the Northern and the Southern Kingdom. So the hatred between the Northern and the Southern Kingdom continues even today. The Northern Kingdom was jealous of the Southern Kingdom because the Southern Kingdom had, because the Southern Kingdom had mixed with the nations, had picked up the hatred for their own people through these devils who they was dealing with. And just like in slavery in America, if you could pass for other nations while you in captivity, you will suffer less. And because we were always in transgression and ultimately in captivity, self-hate set in. The light-skinned, dark-skinned thing that we still suffer from right now is set in. And mostly now, the Northern Kingdom look like the other nations. Though we all started out looking the same. But here's what happened. I'm going to give you some scripture. This is Hosea 7:1. And it says, Ephraim's iniquity. It said, when I would have healed Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered, and the wickedness of Samaria. For they committed falsehood, and the thief cometh in, and the troop of robbers spoiled without. And they consider not in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness. Now their own doings have beset them about, and they are before my face. They make the king glad with their wickedness, and their princes with their lies. So they was not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments that Yahweh Shem Yahushua had gave us. That's why the Southern Kingdom called the Northern Kingdom uncircumcised, and we was called circumcised because we kept the law and they didn't. And so it says, they are all adulterers, as an oven heated by the baker, who ceases from raising after he have kneaded the dough until it be leavened. In the day of our king, the princes have made him sick with bottles of wine. He stretched out his hand with scorners. For they have made ready their heart like an oven, while they lay in wait. Their baker sleepeth all night. In the morning it burneth as a flaming fire. They are all hot as an oven, and have devoured their judges. All their kings are fallen. There is none among them that calleth unto me. So what happened was, they set up there, and they kept mixing with the nations. They kept mixing with all these other nations, and namely the Edomites. And these were our enemies. But because they kept mixing with them, and they mixed with them for so long, they began to look like them, and they began to take on their characteristics and do the things that they do. So they wouldn't keep the law. And that's why the scripture says this. It said, Ephraim, he have mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Strangers have devoured his strength. And what it means by strangers have devoured his strength is that all of these strange nations that they've mixed with have taken in, trying to blend in, and like I say, namely the Edomites, they have devoured their strength, and now they're weak. And they can't resist iniquity. So the Most High ended up ultimately casting them off. He did away with the whole Northern Kingdom. And then it says, strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth not. Yea, gray hairs are here and there upon him, yet he knoweth not. And the pride of Israel testifieth to his face. And they do not return to the Lord their God, nor seek him for all of this. So even when they knew they was fucked up, they didn't come back to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. They didn't turn to him and ask him for forgiveness. You know, they didn't seek his help or his guidance. And then it says, Ephraim also is like a silly dove without a heart. They call to Egypt. They go to Assyria. So these things that they're doing, they're asking for captivity. He said they call to Egypt. They go to Assyria. These are the places they went in captivity at. They went in captivity with Egypt with us, with the southern kingdom, and they went into Assyrian captivity by themselves. It says, when they shall go, I will spread my net upon them, and I will bring them down as the fowls of the heaven. I will chastise them as their congregation have heard. Woe unto them, for they have fled from me. Destruction unto them, because they have transgressed against me, though I have redeemed them. Yet they have spoken lies against me, and they have not cried unto me with their heart. When they howled upon their beds, they assembled themselves for corn and wine, and they rebelled against me. And then it says, though I have bound and strengthened their arms, yet do they imagine mischief against me. They return, but not to the Most High. They are like a deceitful bow. Their princes shall fall by the sword for the rage of their tongue. This shall be their derision in the land of Egypt. So when they come back into Egypt again, this will be their derision. This will be their, and let's see what derision means. Derision, let's look up that word. And it means contemptuous, ridicule, or mockery. He said, so this will be their mockery. His mockery against their ass. That he's going to put their ass in captivity again. Even though they had just came out of Assyrian captivity. They went to go keep the law, statutes, and commandments that they never kept in their own land, in the Americas. And they still did wickedly in the eyes of the Most High. Okay, now because the northern kingdom is mixed with all the nations, not just Edom, all the nations. You know, so the Most High said this about the Israelites as a whole now. And this is Jeremiah 12:9. And it says, mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about her are against her. Come ye, assemble all. The beasts of the field come to devour. So, because they have mixed with all the nations, and even the southern kingdom mixed with the nations too. But the northern kingdom did it on a level where they didn't even look like themselves. You know, they totally looked like the other nations. And this is why in this day and time that you have a lot of brothers that try to deny them as being Israel when they are. So, yeah, because they looked like the other nations. So he's saying his heritage is unto him as a speckled bird. Because now we come in so many different shades and colors, you know, and look like so many different nations. And then it says the birds that's round about her are against her. So every other nation of people that's not us are still against us. And they come to devour us. This is the whole thing. This is Daniel 9 and 7. It said, Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, to all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee. So because we trespassed against Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, we broke the law, and we didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. This is why we can't look at each other and say, okay, he an Israelite. We got to judge through the Spirit, you know, because we didn't keep the covenant. And then this is why we have confusion of faith. We got people that look like other nations. We got other nations that look like us. And then it says, to the Lord our God belong mercies and forgiveness. Though we have rebelled against him, neither have we obeyed the voice of Yahweh our power, to walk in his laws, which he has set before us by his servants, the prophets. Yea, all Israel have transgressed the law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us. And that curse is to be confused as somebody else. You know, we are special chosen people, the Israelites, man. And to be confused as somebody other than who you really are, man, that's a curse, man. That's a curse. And then it says, and he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem. As it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil has come upon us. So they ended up right here in captivity. Right here, the northern kingdom ended right here in America in captivity. Right alongside with the southern kingdom, as prophesied in Deuteronomy 28. It didn't say just the southern kingdom was gonna go into captivity. He said all of Israel. Remember, the Most High had did away with the northern kingdom altogether. But through Yahushua, they was able to be grafted back into the covenant. Now we have certain groups of Israelites who follow a color doctrine, which is stupid and silly, because that'll make every dark people Israel, including the Hamites, which you know is impossible. So we have to try each spirit by the spirit to see if they are the Most High, to see if they're of Yahweh. Now this is 1 John 4:1. And it says, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of Yahweh, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. So we will know our people because their spirit will bear witness. People can name things that black folks do and say we do them all, and say that, you know, as a whole, we all do these particular things, you know, the way we do them. And there are things that we do that no other set of people do but us. Well, the same thing is true with blacks and Hispanics. You know, we like to do the same shit because spiritually we are the same people, come from the same ancestors, same forefathers. And when I say Hispanics, that includes the Indians too, the Native Indians. So, and what I wanted to pull out, man, was that these prophecies, man, that we're bringing out, man, this shit has came to pass right before our eyes, and we don't even know it. It's right in the scriptures, but we won't look at it. And this is why we come out here and teach. This is why we get on these different social media sites and try to reach out with the truth. Because other than that, man, you're gonna be stuck with Christianity and Islam, which is a lie. You know. But man, I got a third segment, another segment I'm gonna do to this. It's gonna be a sit down. I'm gonna do that tonight. I did the first segment this morning, and I'm gonna go way deeper into prophecy. It'll probably be close to an hour long, that particular one. But I needed to hit both sides of the prophecies of the 12 tribes getting to the Americas. The first one was the Southern Kingdom, and I showed you how our kingdom fell in 70 AD, and Jerusalem fell, and we spread it out into Africa, hid out, and ultimately end up getting sold by the Hamites to the white man here. This is how we got here. Well, and I just explained to you in this segment how the Northern Kingdom, how when they got out of captivity, how they ended up in America. They was actually here before us. They was here before any man ever came. They were here. And they went into captivity because they still didn't keep the law, statutes, commandments that Yahweh Shem Yahushua gave them. So I'm going to finish the rest of this. Tonight is going to be a sit-down, so be looking for it. So with that said, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. I'd like to give double honors to the prophet, to Salaki. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua. And I'd like to give double honors to the apostles, the great millstone, who do rule well. And I would like to give honors to the Akim that's out here pushing this truth in these streets, man, in sincerity to the four corners of the earth. I just want to say shalom to you brothers, and shalom.